The New England Patriots, my New England Patriots. I should have put my jersey on for this. This is who we're going to be diving into today. We're covering the 2025 preview. We're going to be looking at what happened last year, the changes over the offseason, all the stats trends and historical trends to see what can help us predict how the 2025 season is going to go for the Patriots. It's courtesy of Warren Sharp's football preview. I encourage all you guys to go download this thing. It is amazing. You can also buy the hard copy on Amazon. But yes, we're going to be diving into the New England Patriots, uncovering them. So let's get right to it. Patriot says, you can watch us with us on Rumble Premium, by the way. Come watch it on Rumble Premium. I know I just said this. I'm saying it again because I'm clipping this part out. So join Rumble. Go look at go look for Game On Show. Give me a follow. Then join Rumble Premium, and you can hang out with us live. The live chat here. We're having a good time. We're having a good time. If that's something that interests you, I encourage you to come hang out with us. So let's dive into the New England Patriots. Patriots says 7.5 under his money on the floor. Yeah, there's like 80-something% of the money is on over 7.5, and I don't know why. And I'm a fan of the Patriots, but we got some growing to do, man. We've been 4-13 2 years in a row, and everyone's like, nope. You've won 8 games total over the last 2 seasons, but this year you're going to win 8 games in one season. I don't know if you guys realize that the NFL is pretty hard. It doesn't work like that. You get a new head coach. I mean, you know what I mean? But yeah, some of the changes. Mike Vrabel's new head coach. Josh McDaniels is back as offensive coordinator, and Terrell Williams is your defensive coordinator. I like that hire. I like the Mike Vrabel hire. I was very excited about that. Let's take a look at their schedule. And one of the big things that we've been covering this offseason, and one thing that why this PDF, this book, is so valuable is because it points out things about the NFL schedule not being equitable, right? It's not equitable. And it makes a difference. I was watching the Netflix documentary, the quarterback one yesterday, and we're at the point where I was looking at my wife and I'm like, oh, this is the point where Kirk Cousins gets hurt, but no one knows about it. And that's when he had that elbow and shoulder injury. And then he after he sustained it during week 10 against the Saints, then he just falls off statistically. And everyone was wondering what the hell's going on. Kirk Cousins hit a wall. No, he was just injured. Couldn't put enough zing on the ball. But the rest advantage, net rest advantage and disadvantage week by week is what is very important throughout the season to figure out how much success you're going to have. But look at the Patriots don't have any rest advantage or disadvantage through the first 9 weeks of the season. We haven't really seen that yet in some of these teams that we've covered. Their first rest net disadvantage is against the Bucs. The Bucs will have an extra week. So basically I'm guessing the Bucs are coming off their bye in week 10 against the Patriots. So they'll have 7 days rest advantage. But then when we play the Bengals in Cincinnati, the Patriots will have a 3-day rest advantage over the Bengals. And then we get Monday Night Football against the Giants, and then we hit our late bye week there. 6-day rest advantage playing the Bills. That's going to be huge because I'm pretty sure the Bills are coming off rest disadvantage that we talked about yesterday there. And then no other. So really, they're pretty much equal rest throughout most of the season. This is the least amount of changes we've seen on any team. Key player, I can't talk. Let me take a drink of water. So key players that we lost: Bentley, lost a center, and David Andrews, Jacoby Brissett. Let's see. What are some notable names on here? Oh, we lost Joey Sly to the Titans. How are we ever going to recover from that? Our kicker, we traded Joe Milton to the Cowboys. Interesting. A lot of changes, but that's to be expected with 1, a bad team, and 2, new coaching staff coming in. Key players added. We spent some money this offseason, or I got to say, the Patriots spent some money this offseason. We went and got Milton Williams. I like that one. We got Stephon Diggs. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we got Stephon Diggs. Carlton Davis, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Morgan Moses, Mac Hollins. I'm excited about Mac Hollins. Joshua Dobbs, we are backup quarterback, the rocket scientist, Marcus Epps. So for once in their life, or for once in his life, Robert Kraft opened up the checkbook. We had a good draft. I thought the Patriots had a good draft, taking Will Campbell out of LSU, the best lineman on the board. Old short arms, Will Campbell. And then we took a running back, Travion Henderson. Wide receiver, Kyle Williams. Center, Jared Wilson. Safety, Craig Woodson. Defensive tackle, Joshua Farmer. Wow, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 6 picks in the first 137 picks. 7 picks in the first 146. Fifth round, we took the defensive end, Braden Swinson. Then some 6 and 7 round picks that no one cares about. All right, let's go through this. Let's see what Warren Sharp thinks about the Patriots. He thinks they'll be better in 25 than they were in 24 and 23. He believes that for several reasons. Get into it. Primary reason, though, is they can't get much worse. This is true. And we actually have a quarterback. Let's see. Last 2 seasons, we went under our projected win total. To hit over with at least 8 wins, they need to double their wins from 2024. This is what's crazy. The Patriots in 23 were projected, they were favored in 3 games before the season started. We weren't projected to be favored in any games last year. And this year, we're projected to be favored in 11 games. That is insane. That is too much. We're favored in 11 games, yet our over under 7.5. That should tell you something. Vegas is begging you to take the over. Patriots spend a majority of their money on defense. That's thanks to the fact that we have a rookie quarterback, so we can spend more money elsewhere. Got him on that rookie deal. Him and Joshua Dobbs combined for $11.25 million. Well, I guess, and whoever our third string quarterback is. Fade the Pats. That's right, Patriot. We're probably gonna have to fade the Pats. There are steps forward, and then there are steps forward. At this point in the offseason, using look-ahead lines, there are 14 teams favored in at least 10 games in 2025. The Chiefs, the Bills, the Eagles, Ravens, 49ers, Chargers, Rams, Packers, Lions, Commanders, Broncos, Bucks, Bengals, and the Patriots. One of these is not like the other. Which one stands out? Almost all those teams made a playoff last year, or in a rare exception, they did not, like the Bengals, Chargers, and Niners. But they have pedigrees of winning games. Do a police lineup of these teams, and the Patriots would be the one flag. That's right. So why are they favored in so many games? Let's unpack some of the reasoning. Some of the expectations of this year. For starters, they're expected to play the NFL's number 2 easiest schedule and 3rd easiest based off of efficiency. Last year, they were projected to have the number 2 toughest schedule. Oh, that's interesting. Last year, they were expected to play the number 2 toughest schedule, but a lot of the teams we played last year took a step back, and we actually had the 23rd toughest. Let's see. We got Mike Vrabel as head coach this year. There's stuff about Vrabel being fired by the Titans and how he was shocked by that. Let's go through the projected betting lines. These are going to be interesting for 2025. Week 1 against the Raiders. Are we home? Can't see it that well. Home against the Raiders. Okay. Week 1 at home, my 2.5-point favorites. I think that's right. Then we're at Miami. We're 2.5-point dogs. That's right. I might look at Miami in week 2. Honestly, anything under 3, I might look at Miami. We're favored against Pittsburgh, which I don't know how that's possible, but we are. 3.5-point favorites against Carolina. 8.5-point dogs at Buffalo. 3-point favorites at the Saints. 1.5-point favorite against Tennessee. 5.5-point favorites against Cleveland. Man, we do have an easy schedule. 5.5-point favorites against Cleveland. I'll probably look at Cleveland in week 8. 3-point favorites at Atlanta. I'm definitely going to take Atlanta in week 9. 4.5-point dogs down in Tampa Bay. 5.5-point favorites against the Jets. 4.5-point dogs against Cincinnati. Giants, 3-point favorites against the Giants. Then we have a bye week. 4.5-point dogs against Buffalo. 8.5-point dog against Baltimore. 1.5-point favorite against the Jets. 2.5-point favorites home against Miami to finish the season. Speculating teams' ratings before camps even starts is suspect. Giant grain of salt. I think that's right. Like, take it with a grain of salt, but you got to do something, right? Like, we have to have some rankings or just some projections based off of what happened in the off season, right? It's just human tendency. We all have to have our opinions out there. Oh, I didn't even look at these. Look at this. Team records and trends. I didn't even realize this was a thing on here. I tell you, their average line, your record against the spread. The Patriots were 6-9 against the spread last year. Not good. They were never favored last year, but so they were 3-4 ATS at home. But what I like down here, look at these teasers. The Patriots were 10-7 covering the 6-point teaser, 12-5 covering a 7-point teaser, and 13-4 covering a 10-point teaser. You guys know me; I love my teasers. I didn't even realize that was a thing on here. I'm gonna start going back and looking at those. Yeah, it's not facts. Well, it's hard to tell how good. I mean, you got to let the season play out before you realize how good a team actually was. But that doesn't help us now. But I think you're right. Take it with a grain of salt. Let's see. Oh, let's just talking about Mike Vrabel. On top of an easier schedule and what should be better coaching, the Patriots have attempted to surround Drake May with support more aggressively than they did last season. I'm nervous, though. This could be a sophomore slump. Let's start with what's most important, the offensive line. We know entering 24, the offensive line would be weak. The weak link, it might cause problems for May. In fact, we knew the offensive line was so bad and problematic that May was highly unlikely to start the season at quarterback until the line settled in a bit. So we bet on Jacoby Brissett to start week 1. Happened. Offensive line was a disaster. By our metrics at Sharp Football Analysis, they were the worst offensive line in the league. Per ESPN, they ended up being ranked 31st in block win rate, and dead last in run block win rate. Pass block win rate, and then dead last in run block win rate. Per Pro Football Focus, they were 31st in pass blocking and dead last in run blocking as well. In free agency, they signed veterans right tackle Morgan Moses and center Garrett Bradbury. Right guard is holdover Mike Anowinu. I can never say his name right. Who was the only offensive lineman to play all 17 games last year for the Patriots. That's another thing, too. They got new offensive lineman rim row stats when I have to replace 2, or especially 3 or more, but 2 or more offensive linemen. It usually takes about 8 weeks or so for it to settle in. So maybe we fade the Patriots early. Plus, they're bringing in Will Campbell, a rookie. And then they doubled down at center with the number 95th overall pick for Jared Wilson out of Georgia. Yeah, I think this offensive line is going to be an issue. I think we definitely go under 7.5. I think we definitely just fade the Patriots first month of the season. Plus a new offensive line coach. Ooh, gosh, that's not good. Here we go. My favorite part. My favorite part. Here's why you should bet under 7.5 wins for the New England Patriots for the upcoming 2025 season. Despite lots of additions to the offensive line and defense, the Patriots still do not have a great skill position group. They drafted Travion Henderson and signed Stephon Diggs to help, but Diggs is coming off an injury and continues to decline each season. Yet the Patriots paid him $20-something million a year. Yeah, let's give a dude injured and on the decline 20+ million a year. What are we doing? The Patriots need him to rediscover his form, or for one of their young receivers to step up. Drake May showed well given the surrounding talent as a rookie, but that does not mean he was a top quarterback. He was 27th amongst qualified quarterbacks in yards per attempt, 30th in interception rate, 25th in off-target rate. The offensive line did not help, but May also struggled to avoid the negative play when under pressure, taking a sack 21.7% of his pressures. Ooh, that's not good. When he did not take a sack, he threw an interception on 4.2% of his attempts under pressure, 27th amongst qualified quarterbacks. None of those issues are unexpected for a rookie in a bad situation, but May will need to be better as a sophomore in addition to improvements around him. You got to remember, too, we got real excited about Mac Jones, his rookie year, right? So let's pump the brakes on Drake May, Let's pump the brakes on Drake May. Patriots says, yep, first 6 weeks is the extended preseason. This is why I have very little plays first week. I always do well week 1 because I just go. It's not so much looking at the teams; it's looking at 1, fade public perception of these teams. 2, just look at what history tells us. Right? Look at what history tells us, and a lot of what history tells us, there's a lot of upsets because you're fading what people perceive these teams to be. I usually do really well week 1. I used to not bet the first month of the season. But now I feel confident doing so because you just don't know who these teams are. Why? Okay, here's why you should bet the over 7.5 wins for the New England Patriots for their upcoming 2025 season. The Patriots have a great defensive foundation and a new defensive-minded coach. Get them back on track. Christian Barmore will be back healthy, paired with his new signing Milton Williams. Patriots should be better up front. Team also signed Harold Landry as a pass rusher, Robert Spillane at linebacker, and Carlton Davis at cornerback. Upcoming schedule. Plus, we got our guy. Gonzalez. He's a freak at cornerback. The company schedule looks to be a cakewalk for the Patriots. They're projected to have the second easiest schedule of opponents in 25 and the easiest amongst AFC teams. Schedule includes games against the Raiders, Titans, Panthers, Browns, and Giants. These are all very winnable games for an improved Patriots roster. The offensive line was a disaster last season. They ranked 31st in pass block win rate and last in run block win rate. Luckily, the team brought in Morgan Moses, Garrett Bradbury, and Will Campbell to solve the issue. Those additions could rejuvenate the run game and buy time for Drake May, who fared well despite a poor sporting cast. Yes, those guys are going to help, but it takes a while for an offensive line to mesh together. So, I don't know. It might be valuable to bet against the Patriots early on. Let's go back up here. Let's see if we can find that. I mean, I wouldn't mind looking at Miami in week 2. I don't know about the Raiders, man. The Raiders got their own issues in week 1, but I might not mind looking at Miami in week 2. Definitely don't mind taking Pittsburgh. Definitely don't mind taking Pittsburgh. And if I can get 3.5 with Carolina, I might take Carolina against the Patriots at 3.5. I don't know why the Patriots are 3.5 point favorites over Carolina. Remember, Drake May only has 12 starts under his belt, too. Oh, let's see. Before last season, Patriots receiving core graded 32 in the NFL, and that's exactly how it happened. 31st in EPA, 26 in success rate, 29 in yards per attempt. When the wide receivers were targeted on third downs, they converted first downs just 28.8% of the time. So, I mean, the good news is, like you were saying at the beginning of this, it can't get much worse than what you've been playing, right? So it should be, you should at least as a Patriot fan, you should have some hope after watching this season. Patriots Carolina defense could be good. Oh, they will be good, no doubt. No doubt. Not only did it rank 32, but then no other team was below 35%. In fact, the Patriots' 28.8% third down conversion rate on wide receiver targets ranked 11th worst of any team in the last 25 years. This is why I love this book. You get stuff like that. That's just useful information. It's like, okay, we know this last year was bad, but how bad? It's like, wow, really bad, like historically bad. That's something that can absolutely improve. That's something right there that can improve and should improve. And the last team to be that bad was, ironically, the 2023 Patriots, who averaged 26.2%. Okay, maybe not. Well, no, look at it. It did improve. It went from 26.2 to 28.8. So it did improve. God. The addition of Stephon Diggs. Diggs is clearly on the downside of his career, turning 32 this November, coming off a torn ACL at the end of October last year. He was special in 24 before the injury for the Texans, averaging 5.9 receptions for 62 yards per game while playing career high 46.2% of his snaps in the slot. He now seems quite happy missing offseason camp for the team and partying on boats. So it remains to be seen whether he will be an asset for the Patriots or not, but he's being paid like they think he will be. The Patriots signed Diggs to a 3-year, $63.5 million contract, $12 million signing bonus, $25 million guaranteed, average annual salary of $21.2 million. God. Patriots could get out after this year for less than $10 million in dead cap. That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. Patriots also added Kyle Williams at pick number 69 overall. Ayo. That's my guy, Kyle. Why do I say Mike Williams? Kyle Williams. He a Coug. At Washington State, Williams was a yak machine. Yes, he was. He a Coug. Averaging 8 yards after the catch per reception. Number 3 best amongst draft eligible wide receivers. He forced a missed tackle on 30% of his receptions. 8th best. Granted, he didn't have the best people trying to tackle him. But still. Yes, Diggs is a gamble. Diggs is a big gamble. But I do like that we took, not just because he is a Coug. I just think that's cool that he's a Coug. But I do think Kyle Williams is a really good receiver. He could be special. His production did dip against zone coverage, where he averaged more modest 2.2 yards per route. At 5'11", 190 pounds, Williams might need a shift inside more at the NFL level. He played in the slot about 25% of the time at Washington State, but he projects as someone who can be dangerous inside, especially with his burst after the catch. Other than Diggs and Williams, the remainder of the Patriots receiving core largely returns, and that includes tight end position. All right, we don't need to go through all those. Jalen Polk. Good. I can't believe we still have Hunter Henry. We need to run the ball this year, though. That's what we need to do. As it relates to staying on schedule, 37% of these runs gained 1 yard or fewer, ranking 30th in the league. Yeah, we need to run the ball. With Mike Vrabel there, I believe we're going to run the ball. Part of the issue is blocking up front. These run averages just 0.46 yards before contact per rush. That is bad. You can't gain yards if you're getting hit within a half a yard of the line of scrimmage. But that's what the Patriots were dealing with. Meanwhile, if you look at some of the better run teams with solid schemes and our players is stable at blocking up the defense well enough to secure over 2 yards per contact per rush on these early game runs. Ravens were number 1 at 2.46. Colts were number 2 at 2. That's interesting. The Colts at 2.03, and the Lions were number 3 at 2.01. Basically, the Patriots ranked dead last in every third and short situation in the league. Patriots are the worst team converting on third down. It's a miracle we won 4 games. I don't know how we beat the Bengals. We should have had number 1 overall pick. Could you imagine Jalen Carter? Oh, baby. Not Jalen Carter. Sorry. Abdul Carter. Oh, baby. Patriots drafted Trayvon Henderson with 38th overall pick. Henderson averaged a ridiculous 7.6 yards per touch, the best mark of any back in the class last season. Nearly 15% of his carries went for 15 plus yards. At the combine, he backed that up with a 4.4340 and the 95th percentile explosiveness. He's dependable. He had 0 fumbles and 667 career college touches. That is pretty good. That's impressive. We're not going to go through why the draft picks were great. No. See, that's another thing why I like reviewing this Patriot is I know last year was bad. It didn't feel like we were that bad though. We were bad, but it didn't feel like we were that bad. But now you see the stats, you're like, oh God, we were terrible. Very terrible. And you can see if we watch the season and we start seeing these, you can compare these stats and we can see what happens like 3 games in, and we can look like, hey, look, the Patriots are able to run the ball. What up, G Wood? How we doing? The Patriots are able to run the ball. They're actually getting, instead of getting contact on a run play at 0.46 yards, they're actually getting contact average of 0.12 yards. So then you can look through and say, okay, how should that be affecting everything else? And then you can project forward and say, well, if they can keep this up or, even improve upon this, this is what they should be, and translate that to spreads and covering games and whatnot. Or hell, winning some games. That'd be nice. Fantasy football. If you want fantasy football advice, just read through that. I don't really care about it. Let's talk about the defense now, and we got Mike Vrabel in here. Patriots struggled to contain running backs last season, finishing 26 in yards per carry allowed on running back runs, 4.6, and 29th in average yards before contact, 1.7. Oh, that's bad. Defensive front should look a lot different this year with Minton Williams added to the fold and hopefully a healthy Christian Barmore. Even if both of those guys work out, there are depth concerns up front. Patriots finished dead last in sacks and 31st in pressure rate last season, which is basically all that needs to be said when talking about the edge group. The Patriots reunite Mike Vrabel with Harold Landry and brought in Kayvon Chiasen to help shore up the unit. Anthony Jennings is a big factor against the run rather than an impact pass rusher. A second-round pick in 2023, Kenyon White is the upside factor here after taking a step forward in his second season. Robert Spillane was another addition during the Patriots' big spending spree on defense, and he will likely end up being a good one at linebacker. While he is not a standout in coverage, Spillane should go a long way to solidify a running defense that struggled in 24. Raiders tried to return the favor by signing Christian Ellis to an offer sheet, but New England matched and kept the young linebacker around. Patriots did not give up a ton of pass production because teams did not need to throw on them. Essentially. Plus, we also have Christian Gonzalez, who is a stud. Christian Gonzalez picked up where he left off in his shortened rookie season, finishing 19th amongst qualified corners and yards per target allowed, with 11 passes defended. New England added help for Gonzalez in free agency by signing Carlton Davis to a big contract. Davis has struggled to stay on the field throughout his career. When active, though, he is a quality option with a lot of experience. Basically, we're just hoping these guys can stay healthy. Defense is the reason. Under could be a moneymaker for game totals because their offense not great as well. Yeah. Patriots have the second easiest schedule in the league on paper. All this says the changes to the coaching staff, offensive line, receiving core, and running backs won't generate the desired result for the Patriots unless May also takes a step forward. Given what I expect from Alex Van Pelt last year, I was surprised he only used play action 29% of the time. The issue could have been pressure on such plays. 41% of May's early down play action attempts drew pressure, much higher than the 28% on non-play action throws. If the offensive line protects better, May can use more play action 25, which certainly will raise the ceiling for his performance. Another change that could occur in that is that the passing game must get a little more aggressive. Last year, 45% of May's throws were at or behind the line of scrimmage, ranking 43 of 46 QBs. You don't need him to be throwing downfield like Joe Burrow or Brock Purdy, but there's no legitimate offense that is throwing nearly 50% of their passes at or behind the line of scrimmage. It doesn't really give your quarterback much confidence, too, if you're never taking a deep ball. G would say, hopefully I don't watch the Patriots suck again. I'm right there with you. I don't think this season's going to be better. I think if there's any hope for the Patriots, it's going to be next season. But we'll see. We just want to see some improvement this year, you know? Then we'll win the Super Bowl. Oh, let's see. Talked about that. Patriots will play the number 22 toughest schedule of offenses this year instead of number 9 last year. For the first time in several years, there's a legitimate reason to believe the Patriots might be building towards something sustainable. The 25 schedule is a gift compared to last year's gauntlet. Coaching staff led by Mike Vrabel and McDaniels brings competence and clear identity. The offensive line, that is an understatement, man. Having grown-ups in there that know what they're doing, Vrabel and McDaniels, yes. Offensive line finally addressed with urgency should give May a fighting chance to operate. The receiving corps, while far from solid, is a step ahead of last year. But for all those improvements, May needs to take a step forward, which is hard to do in your sophomore year. He must grow more comfortable pushing the ball downfield and leveraging play action more effectively. If he does, and if the line can keep him clean long enough to allow that evolution, the Patriots offense could look like a modern NFL unit. Defensively, it may not be 2023's top 5 group, but with a much softer schedule, new additions, and more offensive support, regression towards competence is realistic. It won't all flip overnight, and the Patriots likely may not close the season being favored in 11 games as they are today. Finally, though, it seems like a nice window is about to open for the Patriots to produce respectable results after back-to-back 14 and 13 seasons. Yeah, we suck. We suck. But there you have it. That is the New England Patriots 2025 preview. I did not realize how terrible some of those stats were. Who's kicking? Who is our kicker? Let's see. I don't even know. I know Joey Sly went to the Titans. Our kicker is Andy Borregales. Who is this guy? We drafted him this year. Oh boy, that's not good. So we have a rookie kicker out of Miami. I wonder what his college stats were. We have a rookie kicker out of Miami. Nice. Yeah, we're doomed. We're definitely fading the Patriots this year. But that's 2025 in New England Patriots preview. Come hang out with us. Like this video, share it out there, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.